Well, we've already got a bit of a spectacle going on here. A little bit of rain. Gonna entertain us for this week. But nonetheless, let's get right into it. Welcome along, everybody, to Breakout Racing League's Tier 3 Championship. We've arrived at the one, the only, Temple of Speed. That's right, Monza, the Italian Grand Prix for Round 6. Monza, what a place. What a place. We've had surprise winners. We've had a load of action. A lot of overtaking sometimes. But above all, when it comes to Breakout Racing League, you always get the best. That's exactly what we're going to have here, hopefully, as we have a little bit of rain entertaining us for this week. You've got 11 corners that make up this historic track that has been on the calendar pretty much every single season. And not only not only in real life, but also in Breakout Racing League. You can't have Monza. You can't not have Monza on the calendar. My apologies. There we go. I am muttering words as we speak. But anyways, yeah, 11 corners and 2 DRS zones. One going down into turn 1. Of course it's going to be down into turn 1. Why wouldn't it? As that is really going to be your main overtaking opportunity, as I am getting asked to send an invite. Anyways, and also the other one going over to Ascari. But they will not be available to us for this qualifying. As for the race, I'm not entirely sure, but they're not going to be here for us for qualifying because, as you can see, we've got rain. The question is, what kind of rain? Enough for interconditions, as you can clearly tell. But Monza, we've had a lot of action in Monza, I think is safe to say. Obviously, with Verstappen and Hamilton, of course, 2021 at the first chicane. Well, that's just putting it simply. But there are many other places where we've seen a lot of action here at Monza. What are we in store for us here tonight? We'll have to find out. And what kind of implications will this have in the championship? Because it's still early days in the championship. Why don't we go over that for a little bit? And by the way, I'll quickly say this real quick. Your host here, as per usual, is Minico, the one and only. Some of you are getting sick of me. I don't care. We ball. I'm not joined by anybody this time, unfortunately. I think Q-Man is off doing some other things, but yeah, hopefully he'll be back for next week. We'll just have to find out. But here's the championship. And well, we've got a new championship leader. Well, for the first time since I think Kieran was Kieran was the last okay, words. I'm still muttering here a little bit. But okay, let me rephrase myself a little bit. The last person that was leading the championship is Kieran, who is out on track and here tonight. And, well, now he has dropped down to 3rd. And now, the previous champion of Tier 3, that's right, Gary. He is leading the championship here for Tier 3. 7 points ahead of his old rival, One Underdog. That's why the front two, they are back once again at the top. Kieran sits in P3, 21 points behind Gary. And, well, he could definitely jump himself up if he has a good result here this weekend. I think he's already spun on his lap, which isn't ideal. Hopefully he can get that going. Then Huis in P4. Huis has had a great past couple of races. He's finished 5th, 1st, and 3rd in the past 3 races that he has attended. Can he go for that second win? Can he go for another podium? It's Monza. We'll see. P5 goes to Kirito. Obviously, he still isn't here. And then James B in P6 ahead of Haas. Then it's Flynn in 8th, Redeemer in 9th. Sonone rounding out the top 10. In terms of the team's championship, it is the Red Bull team that currently leads the standings with 108 points. The first team to get into the triple digits. And they are 19 points ahead of the reigning Constructors Championship champions, Mercedes, 19 points apiece between them. Aston Martin sit 3rd with 63 points, quite a ways behind Red Bull and Mercedes, though still very much in the fight, though they got Williams for close contention. Then it's followed by Haas in P5, jumping up 1 position from last week. Ferrari jumping up 2 positions from last week, 38 and 27 points apiece. And then just 2 points behind Ferrari is Alfa Romeo, sitting in 7th ahead of McLaren. It's AlphaTauri and Alpine rounding out the 10 constructors that we have. Alpine yet to get any points in the constructors order as it stands at the moment, but can they get themselves on the board this week? We will have to find out. Right now, Qualifying, starting to set itself, trying to set themselves as quick times are retired from the session, and Underdog is top the timing sheets with a 127.4, half a second ahead of Loud Balloon. So he's already putting himself with a little bit of margin. We'll see how the rest of this goes. Let me quickly look over chat as Lexter is purple sector 2. No, that sector did quickly go away, but Lexter already getting faster on his lap. Let me look over the chat while I'm at it. And Fallen, it's unfortunate that you couldn't join us here, but how you doing? How you doing today? What's up? What's going on? We're gonna keep on board. Ooh, little bit of oversteer. A bit of oversteer there for Lexter, but he's gonna come across the line. It's gonna be improvement on his lap time. It's gonna be good enough to jump himself all the way up to P6. So quickly down to P7 because Haas just improves and he goes up to 6th himself. How's the weather looking for the full race? The race, I don't know. I haven't gotten any word on that. We're just gonna have to find out. Gonna be a bit of a surprise. You're there for a funeral. Okay, that makes sense. Well, hopefully things are going well over there, and, I don't know. As for who you lost, I'm not entirely sure. But, I am sorry for your loss. Okay. Hello, King Herbs, with the subscription for Tier 1. Hello, and, thank you for the subscription. I was not expecting that. Okay. But, thank you very much. How you doing there, King Herbs? It shows dry, but you know this game. That very true, Sinone. And yes, this is Quali Fallen. This is, we just started, so yeah, we're currently going through qualifying right now, and Underdog currently top of the session with a bit of gap between himself and P2, that being Huis. A couple drivers have yet to set a lap time, one of them being Redeemer in the Alfa Romeo, though he is up on a lap time, and he's purple sector 2. So he is purple at the moment. The question is that actually true? We know how this game is. And, you see him supporting the yellow and red helmet. Somebody asking to get invites. Just give me one quick second. And Slay Rocker, yes, hello. My one of my fans apparently. Nah, I can't confirm that. Who was asking for it? Nah, there we go. Got the man. James B. There we go. As Redeemer comes across the line and he goes up to 28.6. He goes up to he was at P7, now he goes down to P6 because Echo came across the line and he goes to P6 himself. I love the stream, so you had the sub. Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate the sub. Obviously, Breakout Racing League, of course, appreciates the sub. And, hopefully we have a fantastic race to, make the stream even better. One of, you mean, #1 fan. I mean, apparently I have a couple fans. Well, I may be lying on that. I don't know. But, yeah. I ain't got much in that, I'm gonna be real. Trying to see who he could potentially go on board with for a potential lap. As Dennis went across the line, and he's gonna improve up to P9. Last question. How do you feel about the racers in Tier 3? Do you feel like the top 5 or so should stay in Tier 3 for next season? Well, that depends how they are next game. That's really the biggest question, because obviously, into a new game, you don't know if you're going to get better or if you're going to get worse, so that's really the bigger question. You can't just automatically move someone and they just end up struggling, so that's kind of what you have to deal with a little bit. But, obviously, they are pretty quick in Tier 3, but obviously that doesn't mean they're bulletproof. We'll definitely say that. Well, who knows? Let's have to see. I think I found our man, by the way, to go on board with for a lap around Monza, wet Monza. And it's going to be the championship leader as he drifts around the final corner. And, well, go on board with him now on the Mercedes to start another flying lap for him. And he's blasting down the main straight. No DRS for him, maybe in the race, but we'll see. Now, heavy braking into turn 1, the first chicane, main overtaking opportunity, getting it nice and stopped. First gear, interestingly, oh, that is a Williams, that is off. Luckily didn't hit the wall, but now through to Curva Grande, turn 3, flat. It's pretty much flat with every single car, if not most cars. And he's purple sector 1, heavy braking once again for the second chicane. Del Raja, I think it is, yeah, I think that's what it's called. gets it nice and easy through there. Now, through the first Lesmo, pinching the inside and running it out wide. Fifth gear, not getting too much on the curb, and then quickly getting through to Lesmo 2. Nearly bottoming out on the curb a little bit there, but all is good. Now blasted down the straight once again. On the run to Ascari, your second DRS zone. Like I said, not available. He's 4/10 up, is the Mercedes, and then going through to Ascari. Ooh, rear end kind of complaining a little bit, as it does in the rain. And now, blasting down to Parabolica. There's an Alfa Romeo stopped. I think he's managed to continue going, though. And Gary, round Parabolica. Or if you guys remember, Charles Leclerc got a huge round of applause for going through there. And Gary, well, he comes around the final corner. And now, blasting down the straight. Is it enough to go provisional pole? Yes, it is! Gary goes to the top of the session at 27.3. He supplants the Red Bull of one underdog. Once again, the championship leader back on top. Loud won our league race at Monza in the rain. Explains why he's third for now. Well, he's fourth now. So, the for now part was definitely true. I think he's coming across the line now to start another flying lap. Any ideas the time they release as well and how long in between seasons we usually go? Well, it depends on how late we start the first season, to be honest, because obviously this season is ending a bit earlier than expected. So we might have some events going on potentially, I don't know. But as for the time they release, I'd say July for the next F1 game, I would say, somewhere around there. I don't know. I've been getting invites from people I don't know. And I see Herbs is cheering on Lexter, and right now Lexter he is on another lap. We'll see how he gets on. He's currently sitting in P12. He definitely want to go one better than that as well. Going through the first sector split. Is he improving on his lap? Yes, he is. 2/10. So already finding a good amount of time is the Alfa Romeo. Oh, and hello, Prince Loki. That's a Prime sub. Wow. Okay, I usually never get this, but thank you very much, Prince Loki. Welcome to Breakout Racing League, and I appreciate the subscription, the Prime sub. And well, how you doing, man? Looking over, so far there have only 16 drivers that have set a lap time as it stands at the moment. So Chill is coming around to start his first flying lap for the first time. I think he's not going to be he's not going to retire and start last. It's something he likes to do. Maybe it's because he's not in Gotifi spot. You're doing good? Well, that's good to see, and well, I'm doing pretty good myself. Obviously, I didn't have to work today, which was very nice. So I got to sit home and just relax. It's not really been a long day, but it's been a nice day. So I'm pretty chill. Loud Balloon saying you need purple sector 1 and 2. Did you spin? Did you have a moment or something, Loud? What happened? You see, there is a yellow flag. Looks to be cleared up right now, and I actually missed this, by the way, but Demir Jug actually went up to third. A good lap there, as he's actually out of fuel. He's out of fuel, so he timed it absolutely perfectly, and he went up to the second row alongside his teammate. Right now, Williams locking up the second row as it stands at the moment. He almost lost it out of Ascari. Well, he died out of Ascari. Well, you're fine. You made it to the pits. You're okay. Just, chin up. You're still fifth. You're ahead of your teammate. Go for it. That's all I really got. Just go for it, man. Just looking over, there's a bit of a pileup going on further back. I think Flynn is oh, yep, there's just, getting out of the way of the McLaren there. I think the McLaren is Whiffy, in which Whiffy is coming into the pits. Lad's got that. He do got that. This F1 Dennis has retired from the session. That is on track, so he's crashed. And the Ferrari has crashed out of qualifying. Not ideal, so he will start at least, at minimum, 12th, which is not good. Since it looks like the track, well, the track actually is kind of looking the same. As Echo's going to come across the line, by the way, and he improves. He improves by 4/10 to go and put himself up into the top 5. So Mercedes in the top 5, Williams in the top 4. So far, for some teams, it is looking pretty good. The reigning Constructors champions are trying to make a charge back onto Red Bull. We'll see if they can do it. Right now, one Red Bull's in P2, the other one's down in P14. And while Underdog is going to try and challenge Gary once again. Can he do it? We'll find out. Is there 3 minutes left of qualifying to go? Now, this is the question, is if you only want to do 1 lap or if you want to do 2 laps. Seems that some drivers are trying to do 2 laps, like Chill right now. He seems to be doing 2 laps. Does he have the fuel to do so is the question. It's going to be tight, maybe. Gary taking it. He might, Yorster. He absolutely might, as Gary has retired. I mean, sorry, not Gary. Echo. Wrong Mercedes, my apologies. But Echo's out of qualifying. He crashed out of Lesmo too. Not good for the Mercedes, as he is going to start at minimum 5th. Not good. We'll see if that stays. Obviously, Lab Bloom was looking pretty quick. We'll see what can happen. And right as Riley's just said, Loki, you're saying that Loud's taking it. We'll see. He is on an outlap. Can he take provisional pole? Because, by the way, Chill did improve, and he puts himself up into P14. Oh, okay, there we go. We got a bit of a race situation here. And it's saying that there is rain in the race. There's a chance. It's going to be dry, though, by the sounds of it. But there is a chance of rain, which is very interesting. Lau going to choke it again. Well, why don't we find out for ourselves? As he's going to be one of the first drivers to actually set a final flying lap. As there's a bit of car park there in Sector 1. But Lau Balloon, he is going to start his final flying lap, or final 2. I don't know how much time is left on the clock due to the fact that it's blocked by the Sector 1 and 2 yellow flag. Hopefully that can get cleared up. But Loud Balloon blasting down the main straight, and while Loud, he is, he's had good qualifyings. His race not entirely been the best. If I look over at his position in the championship, he is P13. He does have some points to his name, but he's obviously going to want to improve on that. Can he do it? We'll have to find out. 3 tenths up is the Haas, as Chill has retired from the session. I believe that's actually on track, interestingly, but all good. Hopefully that doesn't hurt anybody, as there is a yellow flag. I believe that's just a Haas getting out of the way, but Loud Balloon now going through the two Lesmos on the blast down the second straight. And then we'll see what he can do going through the Sector 2 split. 6 tenths up! 6 tenths, that would be enough. Just. Well, actually, no, it may not be enough. He still has to go through Sector 3, in which he does survive Ascari this time around. Tell you what, Loud Bloom could do it. Could he put himself onto the top spot with this final flying lap? He just has one more corner to go. The famous Parabolica, or we saw Charles Leclerc bin it. But, no bins here for Loud Balloon. And, yep, qualifying is done and dusted. Where does Loud Balloon go? The 26.9. He goes on to provisional pole. A great lap there. Sonone improves. He goes up to P8. What about Redeemer and Kieran? Redeemer improves all the way up to P5. What about Kieran? Can he go any higher? No. P6 for Kieran. He does not beat his teammate here in qualifying. Next to come across the line is going to be Huis in the Williams. Oh, a bit of squirrely on the exit, getting really close to the track limits. Is it going to be enough to beat Loud Balloon? Yes, it is! Huis goes on to provisional pole, but can anyone behind him beat him? The coach can't. He goes into the pits. Next up is going to be Lexter in the AlphaTauri. He only goes 12th. And that will be his starting position for the race unless anyone else can improve. What about James B? He's coming around the final corner, bit squirrely on the exit. But James B is now going to come across the line, and he goes up to P6. What about Gary? There it is. Gary on provisional pole. And he gets back and put himself back up to the top spot. Whiffy up to 4th. Underdog goes only 3rd. He did not find the time enough to beat them. Haas improves up to 5th. I believe Jug came across the line. Actually, he hasn't yet, but he has now. And while he invalidated his lap time, unfortunately. But Gary, once again, on pole position, his second pole of the season. And well, he was looking pretty quick throughout that entire, pretty much throughout that entire session. takes it by 2/10. Huis will start on the front row. Once again, another good qualifying there from the Williams, and Underdog starting third. So right now, the top two in the championship starting first and third. We'll see how that gets on. Loud Balloon starts at fourth ahead of Haas. Once again, Haas with another great qualifying as they start fourth and fifth. Whiffy in sixth ahead of Demir Jug. Then James being eighth ahead of Redeemer and Kieran, rounding out the top 10. Echo, Sinone, Lexter, Dennis, Chill, Frizy, Flynn, DeCoach. Unfortunately, not able to set a lap time good enough to get themselves into the top 10. Quick Tongue, unfortunately, not able to set a lap time here in qualifying, but that's going to set out our 18 runners for the Italian Grand Prix. It's going to be an exciting one, I can tell you that much. What are we going to get? That's the question. Common Haas W just can't choke. Well, we'll see. We know how Monza is. Monza is always going to be crazy. It's going to be competitive. And it's going to be full of DRS trains, I can tell you that much. I'm going to need a drink before this, and I will. Don't matter where you start. You pretty much took the words out of my mouth, Haas. It doesn't matter where you start, it's where you finish. To finish first you have to finish, as I always say. As the timer's already going, so we're already getting underway for this. And there is a formation lap. For those that don't know, there is a formation lap for this qualifying session. We'll see. We'll see how Monza gets on. We had and the question is what kind of drivers, what drivers had a wet setup for qualifying, but only had a dry setup for the race? Or is it the other way around? They had a dry setup for the wet, which helped them in the race. We're gonna have to find out, as we are going to have the formation lap go underway. And boom, there we go. Everyone now underway for the formation lap. Let's look over at the tires that everyone's starting on. Gary once again on his trusty hards. Trusty hards for Gary, who is interestingly on the medium, so he wants to jump, and he's probably going to be wanting... he's going for the undercut this time around. Underdog going the same strategy as Gary. Same with Haas. La Balloon starting on the mediums as well. Then you got Whiffy, Jug, James B, Redeemer, Kieran, all starting on the mediums. Echo electing to start on the hards in P11. You got Sinone, Lexter, Dennis, and Chill all starting on the mediums, followed by Frizy and Flynn starting on the hard compound of Tire, DeCoach, and Quick Tongue all starting on the mediums as well. So a couple of medium runners, but mostly looking like a flurry of the Yellow Wool mediums. We'll see what happens. And what more importantly, what I'm looking forward to is what Frizy does on the formation lap. I want to see that angle. There's a bit of a trend going on recently in Tier 3 where Frizy does the most ridiculous angles. And it's just beautiful to look. I know someone, I don't know if they're watching or not, but if they are, Potato is the man. Potato is the man that loves that kind of stuff. As well, the formation lap is about to be quickly underway. That's the thing with Monza. It's always going to be a quick formation lap because obviously it's a bunch of straight. But it could also be a really slow one because of the straight. But we'll see. As everyone now getting their tires up to temperature and then lining up for into their grid spots. We'll see. 27 laps around the Italian Grand Prix. The Temple of Speed always provides something entertaining. What will he get? Oh, no. Frizy. No, he messed it up. Man. We won't get it. I talked it up so much and I didn't get it. I'm a bit sad now. As I believe we're just waiting on quick things to line up on the grid. Lining up in P19. DeCoach tried it. I saw that. That cannot, unfortunately, get an angle of the 5 red lights. Which is very unfortunate. I might have to go on board with this. The 5 red lights are on for the Italian Grand Prix. Lights out, and away we go. And it looks like a pretty good start for the Williams there of Huis, as he's already gotten ahead of Gary. He's completely blitzed the Mercedes, but into turn 1 we go. What are we going to have into turn 1? Oh, there's already a huge bit of contact. Gary has to cut the corner, and off the track goes the Mercedes. Huis, though, keeps the lead. There was already a bit of contact, a bit of front wing. Someone bet on it. Well, there's your bet. You very much got it. But Huis leads from Gary from Loud Balloon. A great start there from the Haas. He's already trying to challenge his yellow flag for the back. La Balloon up the inside of Gary, and he gets that move done. So the Haas is up into second place, the championship leader, down into third, ahead of Demare Jung. Then comes Underdog, Whiffy, Haas, Sinone, Redeemer, James B rounding out the top 10. There's yellow flag for the back. I believe that's the coach, and indeed it is. He's falling back, but bit of chaos in the first corner, as expected, as you hear at Monza. But Huis got the jump, got the speed. He's up into the lead. And La Balloon following close behind. There's yellow flag in sector 2. I believe that may be a Dennis that has had a moment in the Ferrari. Indeed he has. But he's all good to go. But now the question is, who got that front wing? It looked like one of the McLarens actually got front wing damage, I believe. Yes, it is. It was Whiffy. Whiffy has front wing damage on the left-hand side of that McLaren. He's going to be losing quite a bit of downforce with that front wing, and guaranteed he'll have to pit at some point. But that's rather ruined his strategy. And that might have ruined a couple of people's races, but not the front three, as Huis is absolutely gone, and Whiffy is into the pits. Haas is also into the pits as well, so Haas also got some damage, and now he has to serve not only a pit stop, but also he has a 5-second time penalty to go to his name. The coach is also into the pits. Same with Kieran. Kieran is also into the pits as well. Not a good start for some. Huis is completely checked out now. And he's already got a 1.4 second gap to La Balloon, in which La Balloon under pressure from Gary. Then comes Demare Jug, and ooh. I was about to say Underdog, but La Balloon had a little bit of a moment there out of the Del Rocha chicane. He's all good to go, though, and, well, he has to climb that gap, because right now he's the one leading a massive, well, not really massive. He's leading a DRS train at the moment, and I'm pretty sure if you're leading the DRS train, I don't think you want to be there. Looking over, everyone's now starting to slowly settle into their groove, settle into their rhythm. I believe Whiffy was the one who dive bombed the first turn and nearly killed Gary. Yeah, I think it was Whiffy, because that front wing damage pretty much came because I remember the McLaren I remember a McLaren hitting the back of Gary. Speaking of Gary, he's looking for a move almost. Doesn't think anything of it. But yeah, Gary got completely hit by a McLaren by the looks of it. I guess it was Whiffy, as he just broke a little bit too late, and that is going to cost him. Meanwhile, Flynn's made a move on Frizy, and Flynn is now up into 12. Well, not quite. They're still going wheel to wheel. That's going to allow Dennis to make himself through as Frizy goes off the track, but Gary is now going to look for a move, try and potentially go around the outside. He's going to think about it, but just backs out, thinking that may have been a little bit risky. As there is a yellow flag for the back. I believe that may have been just, I think that might have been Chill. Indeed it was. As actually Chill is into the pits. As meanwhile, James B and Redeemer going at it through Curva Grande, and it looks like James B has managed to get the best of the Alfa Romeo. Indeed he has. James B is up into 7th. Oh, bit of lag though. A little bit of lag there for the Aston Martin. They're all good. It's all good. They're alright. Looking over, I think Gary just might get a second piece of the cherries. He's got DRS on the Haas in front of him, and he's easily got the slipstream. Doesn't have to worry about anybody behind him, because Demare Jug is outside of that DRS, but Gary not able to make a move yet. Meanwhile, further behind, it looks like Lexter and Echo going at it. It looks like Lexter has managed to clear the Mercedes. Indeed he has. And Lexter up into 9th place as it stands a moment. Cut the corner a little bit there. That's not ideal. May have been a warning there. Nonetheless, he's now going to try and chase out the Redeemer for P8. Yeah, everyone now settling into their rhythms now. Everyone's settling into their grid spots. Ooh, that got really close between Gary and La Balloon. But Gary has DRS. He doesn't even need the slipstream, as the DRS is powerful enough to get him ahead of that Haas. Indeed it is. And he is, oh, bit of contact. Bit of contact, more contact once again. Gary, once again, getting hit up the rear. But he gets the gap just about. La Balloon still trying to challenge it, though. Meanwhile, Demare Jug and Underdog going at it through Curva Grande. It looks like Jug is still managing to hold on. But La Balloon, once again, looking for the move on Gary. Can he think about the move off the inside into Del Rocha chicane? Yes, he does. Forces Gary off the track. That's going to invite Jug and Underdog. And indeed he does. And now Jug is looking for the move. And he can think about a move on Gary. Not quite, but he has the inside line on Balloon. Balloon is still keeping it, though, and now tries to go around the outside. Does go around the outside. Oh, and there's contact there between Jug and Underdog. That forces Underdog off the track, and now allows James B and Sinone to get ahead of them. What is going on? Now Redeemer's gotten ahead of Underdog as well. Horrid for the Red Bull and the Williams, as they now dropped down from 4th and 5th down to 6th and 8th. Wow. What just happened there? Y'all chill out, please. I get that's Monza, but remember, it's a DRS train. I wonder, did Jug get any damage from that? Doesn't look like it. He's managed to escape from that. But now this is a great invitation for James B. Actually, not quite, because it looks like Sonone does has DRS. He does. Best 10 seconds of racing I've ever seen from Loud. And well, according to you, it might be the only ones you get. I'm not going to say that, but that might be what you think. Once again, this DRS train now starting to form a little bit. Meanwhile, further behind, it looks like Kieran has managed to get ahead of Whiffy. Indeed, he has. And Kieran, who did set the fastest lap earlier with a 22.6, definitely flying at this stage. And now he is up into P16, make that P15 because Dakota's in his bits once again. Oh, that was a bit of gravel kicked up there. It looks like they're all good to go, though. And, well, Fallen, you mentioned it, and yeah, Lewis is just completely checked out. Obviously, he is on the medium compounded tire. He needed to get the start. Indeed, he gets that start, and what has just happened further back? Yellow flag happened here. I believe Kieran, Whiffy, and Lexter had a bit of a moment, but it looks like Lexter's managed to get ahead of them. Indeed, he has. Oh, you know, that's Redeemer off the track, and Redeemer, well, he's ahead of Demir Jug now. But now Jug does have the slipstream and is now pulling out to the left-hand side of the Alfa Romeo, wheel-to-wheel between the two, and it looks like Redeemer, was that a bit of tactics there from the Alfa Romeo? Backed out a little bit so he could get the DRS in and he could potentially get the jump on the Williams. There's a yellow flag further back, I believe. That is Quick Tongue that's gone round. Meanwhile, Redeemer may not even get the jump because he's got Underdog alongside him. And wheel-to-wheel, down the straight we go. Redeemer breaks lane. Oh, and gets really close. Taps the Williams a little bit, backs out. That's going to allow Underdog to quickly make his way through, and Underdog is now up into 7th place. So now he's right back behind the rear of that Williams once again. He's going to try and get past that Williams this time around. Moving over fastest laps, by the way. Right now, who is his best lap is a 23.5. Gary's fastest lap is 23.7 at the moment, so Gary not quite... He's not really losing that much time, and it looks like he's actually gained a little bit of time in the past couple of laps. We'll see how they get on. Meanwhile, Lexter's managed to get ahead of Kieran. Just about. Bit of contact. Looks like Lexter's managed to get ahead of the Alfa Romeo, and he has. He's up into 15th. Load of action. Load of action. That's what you expect, though. It's Monza. As Gary's completely checked away from La Balloon. La Balloon seems to not have the pace on those medium compounded tire, and that's allowing James B to close up onto the back of the Haas. Loving this camera view, by the way, as Dennis has actually managed to get ahead of Echo. Now Dennis is up into 9th. Look, I like my teammate, but should he be in Tier 3? I mean, he was comfortably Tier 3, and then he seemed alright, but then the pace has just got massively improved. That's really all it is. He just had a massive improvement of pace, as Underdog has finally managed to clear Jug, and James B unable to make a move on Loud Balloon. I also understand a lot of his speed is 0 damage. I mean, yeah, he's got absolutely nothing to him. He just managed to clear the rest. He's got that gap. As James B is thinking about a move on Loud Balloon. He can't quite make it, though. He's a little bit too far back. He needs the DRS to be even more powerful, like it was last game. DRS was really powerful last game, I'll tell you that much. Especially around Imola. You guys remember how powerful DRS was at Imola? You gained like 7 tenths. Mental. There's Lexter, Whiffy, and... Oh! Did Kieran have a moment? Indeed he has. He's actually left the session. Oh dear. Hopefully he can get in as soon as possible. But that is not ideal. Is anybody asking for invites, though? That's the question. So far, nothing. Sorry for the sniffle. I am running a little bit of a cold, I'll admit, but I'm still alright. I'm alright. Don't worry about me. I'm just fine. That's a lyric, by the way. Anyways, potentially a bit of a battle going on for P7. Potentially. Redeemer does have the DRS on Jug. He's gaining with the slipstream. Jug is actually low on ERS. That's not helping him at all. Whiffy grabs the 3-second time plate. Redeemer had a little bit of a look, but nothing doing. Dennis has managed to get ahead of Echo, by the way. Goes a little bit deep, though, into the chicane. But somehow managing to get that car turned absolutely beautifully and holds on to the position. Echo, though, could still very much be looking onto the back of that Ferrari. And I don't think he wants to be looking at the back of that Ferrari. There's a yellow flag at the Ascari chicane. I believe that might be the coach, who's had a bit of a moment. All good, though. And, ooh. That potentially less grip in relation to the Ferrari for Echo. So he lost quite a bit of time. Obviously, he is on the hard compounded tire. Let's not forget that both Mercedes are on the hard. So a bit of conflicting strategies. They are quite a bit separated, though. So we'll see what goes on. James B closing in onto the back of La Balloon as the coach has retired. That is into the pits. He's calling his race done and dusted. He's already pitted a couple times, I think. Yeah, so not a good day there for the AlphaTauri, possibly running into a few issues, and that is his race done and dusted, as there is a yellow flag for the back. I believe, is that Lexter? Indeed, it is Lexter. He's at a moment at the De La Roja chicane. Not what he would have wanted, but he's still going to keep on going, which is what you absolutely love to see. As there is, oh, that is an AlphaTauri getting in the way between James B and La Balloon. And, well, unfortunately, that wasn't really going to cause anything, as James B's having to stay behind. As, by the way, one underdog, he's managed to claw his way back up into P5. The Red Bull is now back up into the top 5. He's going to try and chase after James B and La Balloon. Obviously, the championship rival to Gary, and, well, he's a couple places off of Gary at the moment. As it stands right now, I believe, yeah, Gary would be extending his championship lead, obviously, with second place at the moment. So, Huis is going to start closing in on these guys a little bit. Huis is starting to pick up the pace, and, well, it seems to be showing, especially around here right now. As, my apologies for the audio cuts. I unfortunately cannot control that. As James B once again closing in onto the back of the La Balloon, and he could be thinking about a move into Ascari. He thought about it, pulled out of the slipstream, and nothing doing. As Sinone was thinking about a move on underdog, but he's going to stick behind a little bit, which is probably the wiser choice. You can see, by the way, how close Redeemer is onto the back of Demir Jug, just behind these guys as well. So, DRS trains left and right, up and down. Well, at least for these guys. The other guys are a bit spread apart. Could this be Redeemer's chance, though? He is awfully close onto the back of that Williams, and, well, he's got the ERS to do so. He can see that Jug is blinking. Redeemer's gonna think about it. He was definitely looking. No, he just backs out of it, which might have been the smarter way to go because, well, we don't want another Turn 1-2 fiasco like it was in 2021. We don't want that to happen. And, well, Redeemer playing the smart choice, playing the long game. He's got to go for that now at some point because Demir Jug doesn't quite seem to have the pace of Sinone Underdog. I say that, he's gained a little bit, then just lost a little bit, so never mind that. Jug doesn't quite seem to have the pace out of the two in front of them, and that could be costing Redeemer a little bit. As, not entirely the best, well, he got bottomed out a little bit there on the exit. And while this is all going on, Dennis has put in some great laps. He's pulled completely away from Echo, and now he's closing in onto the back of these guys as well. So, Dennis, at this stage of the race, is looking pretty quick. Guessing he has good race pace, though he is low on ERS, which is definitely going to cost him. As Haas gets a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits, which is absolutely not what he wants. Same with Lexter as well. He also gets a 3-second. And if there's a safety car at any stage of the race, that's going to absolutely make or break him. As James B's into the pits, actually. James B into the pits on lap 11. This would be around the time where you would pit onto a set of the hard compounded tire. That's exactly what James B is doing. Fresh set of hards. Good to go. He should come out in clean air, but the looks of it, he is going to come out behind his teammate. He might come out behind Frizy as well. Frizy's blasting down the main straight. Indeed he is. There we go. Yep, Frizy is up into P12. James B down to P13. Has a little bit of clean air to potentially push and try and get back and try and get ahead of La Balloon potentially. We'll have to find out as there is a yellow flag. Oh, that looks like Lexter spun around. Indeed he has. Lexter not having a good time around here as it stands at the moment, as Whiffy's into the pits actually. So that's potentially a that looked like a longer stop than it needed to be. We're all good. And looking over, who is extending his gap a little bit. 5.9 as it stands at the moment. Does he potentially pit? Redeemer got the 3-second time penalty. That's definitely not going to help him. He is in a huge fight as it stands at the moment. But Huis, 5.9. He's extended that gap, but Gary is going to be on a set of mediums. Let's not forget that. Can he close the gap is the question. As La Balloon is actually into the pits. Oh, and we actually got quite a few pitters. As Demir Jug gets the 5-second time play for speeding in the pit lane. And did Redeemer get one as well? I don't know. Looked awfully close. Yeah, a couple of people pitting now at this stage of the race. I think La Balloon is just responding to James B. And, well, that's actually going to be a big question as Lexer is retired. Oh, dear. That is the exit. Oh, dear. That is a safety car. Lexter retired at the exit of the second Lesmo. That is the AlphaTauri. Both AlphaTauris out of the race. And that's going to bunch everybody back up. And for those starting on the medium compound tire, they're going to be absolutely loving this. Except for those that just pitted. James B, Jug, Redeemer, Haas. They're all going to be fuming at this. And La Balloon, he's actually managed to stay ahead of Frizy. So he's managed to keep that going. But those that stayed out on the mediums are looking absolutely fantastic now. Oh, as Sonone just stops. Yeah, Haas, that's super unfortunate. And are you being sarcastic, though? That's the question. I don't know. You can't tell with text. And, well, who is, unsurprisingly, going to go into the pits. I don't think there was a shadow of a doubt. Yep, Lewis into the pits. He's going to go into a set of hard compounded tire. Does Gary go into the pits? Yes, he does. So Gary is also opting to go into the pits, so he's going to stack onto a set of mediums. You were just at pit entry. Oh, yeah, then it is perfect. I think everybody might pit at this stage, by the way. Indeed. Is everybody pitting? Yeah, no, that's good timing for you, Haas, and you're going to catch up to the rest of the pack as well, which is great. This also helps Quick Tongue a little bit, who's having a bit of a lackluster race. He's also going to climb up, but this is going to help a lot of people. Here comes La Balloon, though. La Balloon's managed to stay ahead of Underdog. So, this doesn't hurt La Balloon as much as expected. The one thing's for sure is that Underdog is going to be right onto the back of him, and I think that's something that he doesn't want to see. But now everybody's going to bunch up behind the safety car. On lap 13, there's the safety car. Who is saying hi to it? But now he knows that there's a Mercedes behind him that's going to be gunning for it. Obviously, Gary, you can trust Gary. I'll tell you that much. He may be the championship leader. He may be aggressive. But you can trust him. He knows how to race. We'll see if the Mercedes can potentially pounce on an opportunity and getting ahead of that Williams. The big question is, though, is the tire temperature. La Balloon might be on a better strategy potentially, because, well, I mean, well, no, I wouldn't say better strategy, but what I meant to say was that he's gonna have warmer tires. Needless to say, Mr. Chill is retired from the session. That is into the pits. James B got screwed by the safety car, lost 2 spots. Indeed, he did. Yeah, that was horrible timing there for James B. And, well, he's jumped back behind Underdog and Sonone. Sonone now up to 5th, Underdog up to 4th. So not what the Aston Martin would have wanted. But it looked like he had some pretty good pace. He was faster than La Balloon. He just wasn't able to make a move. Same with Sonone. And, well, as for Underdog, I think Underdog was slowly catching up onto the back of him. So he might make up 1 or 2 positions off this restart. He could still definitely get a top 5, but we'll have to see. As everyone's weaving around, trying to get temperature into their tires. And, well, this is actually going to bring quite a few people back into the mix. It's going to bring in Haas, Frizy, Quick Tongue, Kieran, Whiffy. All those guys are going to come back into the fray, and now they're going to be joining this fight as well. Safety car restart is bound to happen, and I think at least in the next lap, I think the pits will come in next lap. The pits will come in next lap? Sorry, the safety car will come in next lap. My English is not very great right now, and I'm an English speaker. You gotta love it. Excuse me right there while I take a little bit of a drink. Usually I'd have something to talk about during this safety car, but I don't really have much. And, well, yeah, we're just gonna have to, I wouldn't say sit in silence, I'll try and say something, but I ain't got much on this. But yeah, it's been a... Well, the first... Let me just break down that start, by the way. That was a bit chaotic, wasn't it? Obviously, we all expected it around Monza. Let's be honest. We see front wings flying. We see a bit of damage. We see someone spun around. Gary got completely hit. I don't know if Gary actually got rear wing damage, by the way, from that. I don't know. He seemed to be driving just fine, so I think he's okay. But yeah, he definitely took quite a bit of a hit up the rear by Whiffy, in which Whiffy's all the way down to P16. He'll be able to climb up to the back of the order. We'll see. Let's talk about the different tiers in the points battles. I can do that. Obviously, we know how it is for Tier 3. Gary leading ahead of Underdog by 7 points between them, in which Gary, right now, as it stands at the moment, he will be extending his gap, but La Balloon is very much there. We'll just have to see what happens. Let's go over to Tier 2 while we're at it. And, we'll see how the points gap are right now. Right now, I'm currently leading the standings. Yeah, we take those, I guess. Had a bit of a disappointment, though, in Hungary, and P2 is Bio, who actually won last week, and he's now 13 points behind me as it stands at the moment, and I believe Toneless is right there in P3, and then he's closely followed by Blacks at the moment, and then rounding out the top 5 is going to be the reigning champion of MV Woo for Tier 2. So, bit of a close battle there. Not as close as Tier 3, but it's still definitely within a race win. That's what's going on for Tier 2. As for Tier 1, well, the championship leader has won the past 3 races, and well, he leads by 31 points ahead of Era, and then is Jack in 3rd place with 2 P2s to his name respectively. Then it's Ritzy in P4, just ahead of his teammate Mozzie in P5. So that's kind of what's going on for the drivers' battles going on right now. So yeah, be sure to tune in tomorrow for that. By the way, Tier 1 and Tier 2. Tier 1 will be showcased first at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and then just 2 hours after, it's going to be Tier 2. And well, Tier 2's already had quite a few exciting races. We can definitely get another one. Tier 1's also had some exciting races as well, obviously with Tier 2 drivers coming up to help with their attendance. And obviously just more action. We'll just have to see. Right now, we're still here. We're still here for Tier 3, and right now, safety car is going to be in. It's up to Huis to get tire up into his to get temperature up into his tires, and then lead away. Has he gone yet? Yes, he has. Huis is gone. Hasn't really caught out Gary, though, but cross the line, starting lap 16 of this Italian Grand Prix. It's Huis ahead of Gary, ahead of La Balloon, Underdog, and Sinone, rounding out your top 5 as it stands at the moment. Huis has an easy lead into turn 1 ahead of Gary. Gary, though, with supreme grip there. Just able to stay very close onto the back of that Williams. You'll see if he can potentially make a move. La Balloon sitting close behind ahead of Underdog and Sinone. I think Echo made a move on Demir Jug, and now he's up into 7th place. And now James B is looking for a move on Sinone. Indeed, he has, as James B is now up into 5th place. Has he gotten clear of the McLaren? He has. And now James B is going to try and chase after Underdog and Sinone. Sorry, not Sinone, La Balloon. And now Sinone, well, he doesn't really have, well, he actually has quite a bit of a gap there. There's a yellow flag for the back. I believe Haas has had a moment there. Yes, he has. Wow, play on words. And now he's all the way down to P16. Not the day for Haas, that is for sure. At least for that Haas. The other Haas right now currently still sitting in P3. That he's got Underdog for company. That is for sure. Gap between Huis and Gary at the moment is 6 tenths. Gary just able to stay close behind. Obviously, Dirty Air might be affecting him a little bit. The one thing that isn't affecting Underdog is that Dirty Air, as we just mentioned, is he's closing in onto the back of La Balloon. La Balloon going a little bit wide there at a Parabolica. That's going to invite the Red Bull onto the straight. They're both using their energy. They don't have DRS, so it's not going to help Underdog. He's just going to have to go for it. Simple as is, and he is going to go for it. Wheel to wheel, down the straight, into turn 1. Late braking for the Red Bull. Covers off that Haas. He's up into 3rd place. Goes a little bit deep, though, into turn 2. But all is said and done. And Underdog is up into 3rd. And La Balloon is going to have to settle for 4th now. And he's just going to have to stay onto the back of that Red Bull. Potentially make a move later on. Because, obviously, Underdog and Gary are on the mediums. Let's not forget that. They are on the mediums. Because at the later stages of this Grand Prix, those tires are going to wear off. We can tell. Right now, though, they're kind of at their prime. QuickTime gets a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. He actually goes off the track. He's actually gone off the track. He's lost quite a few positions. He's down to P15. Make that P16 as he just simply lets Haas back through. Not a good day there for the Aston Martin. As Echo's on a charge right now. Echo, he got ahead of Demir Jug earlier. Now he's at a Sonone, and now he's just gone ahead of James B. So Echo now is up into 5th. He's helping his teammate in that battle for the constructors. So Echo's used absolutely everything, and he's used it to great effect. He's in the top 5. Can he potentially close out to the guys in front of him? He is on the mediums, so he's got the grip to do so. However, James B is closing in onto the back of him. Really closing in onto the back of him. And wheel to wheel down the straight once again. Go the Aston Martin and the Mercedes. Is Echo going to try and dive it back up the inside? He's got to think about it. Not quite. He's going to stay behind a little bit longer. Realizes he doesn't really have the grip to late brake. Stays behind a little bit as Dennis gets a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Not ideal. Loud choked his podium again. Well, I wouldn't say he's choked it. He's still there. He's still there. DRS now enabled. And now this is going to invite Gary because he stayed very closely onto the back of Huis in these past couple of laps. And, well, he's got the grip to do so. And now he has that DRS. He has that slipstream. Does he have the energy, though? That is the question. He's set a purple sector 2, obviously aided by DRS, but he is going to close up onto the back of that Williams. He has to go for it at some point because if he doesn't go for it now, his mediums are going to die off. He does not want that. Closing in. And while does he get a good exit out of Parabolica? I tell you what, he's got a decent enough exit. He could potentially go for it. He's got the slipstream. He's got the DRS. Is this going to be his chance? Who is using a little bit of his energy to pull away from that Mercedes? And unfortunately for him, can't do anything. Does Gary. He's going to have to stay behind that a little bit longer. Who is getting great exits, which is really helping him. Gary got a really good exit there out of the chicane, and that is going to aid him a little bit as he is closing in. As meanwhile, Whiffy and Kieran going at it. It looks like Whiffy's managed to stay ahead of the Alfa Romeo. I think he has stayed ahead. I'm going to tell you, sure, it looks like Kieran is really struggling now. He's not able to make a move. Obviously, he is on the hard compounded tire, which isn't entirely helping him. His Haas is actually closed in onto the back of him. Let me see how that gets on. Gary, once again, having DRS on the back of Huis. Can he potentially look for a move? He's going to close the door. He's going to close it, but it's not going to be enough. Yeah, Gary's just basically pushing him through these corners now. He's looking pretty quick. As Huis is actually breaking the toe. Huis is breaking the toe now at this stage, and he knows that his lead is under threat from the championship leader. It's bound to happen. It's going to happen at some point. Gary getting a good exit once again out of the chicane. And well, he's got the overspeed. He's got the slipstream. Quick time's retire for the session. He's going to need to make the move. You can do anything of it. Oh, no, he can't. Virtual safety car. He was so close to making the move and changed to a full course safety car. He was so close to making the move. So close. But he couldn't. Whiffy gets a 5-second time play for speeding in the pit lane, but everybody is into the pits. Well, not everybody, but quite a few people into the pits. A lap 20. Now the question is, what do you go on? Bit of a mixed reaction between these guys. Echo's on a set of softs, same with Dennis. Well, actually, no. Flynn is the only guy that's selected the medium, so he's thinking that the mediums are going to die off. But yeah, that is terrible timing for Gary. He should have gone for it. He should have potentially gone for it. Just used everything he could. But he just couldn't. That straight wasn't long enough. The braking zone wasn't close enough. But now, this brings the question. Do you pit? Do you stay out? If you're a hard runner, do you stay out? If you're a medium runner, do you pit? Oh, and Jug drives through penalty for speeding under safety car. That is not good. They stay out, only 7 left. Well, the thing is, you can make some pretty good overtakes if you do pit. Samaritan Jug gets another drive-through for him speeding out of safety car. Is he missing his delta? What do they do? Oh! Who is dummied him? Who is dummied Gary? Now Gary's into the pits. Underdog is also into the pits as well. So there you have it. Oh, dear. This may not work out for him. Frizy, though. Frizy's electing to stay out. Someone also electing to stay out, I think, is that Kieran. Kieran stayed out. Kieran's still not back yet. Oh, dear. Oh, no, that. The Mayor Jug gets a drive-through penalty. I mean, not a drive-through, sorry. Disqualified. Let's go, Frizy the Mad Lad. Yeah, Frizy opting to gamble. Oh, and James B gets a 5-second for colliding with Echo. Oh, dear. What is going on? We're gonna have fireworks. We're gonna have fireworks. I already know. But Kieran's AI elected to stay out. Kieran is yet to come back. I assume someone would have sent him an invite at some point, but that is interesting. So he's still staying out there. Frizy electing to stay out, though. This is probably the most interesting part. Frizy electing to stay out. He is on the set of mediums. And he's got 6 laps on those mediums. Are those mediums worn enough? Are they worn, but not too worn? Like, what's the deal here? Who is selecting to stay out? Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing that kind of blows my mind here. We've got a mixed selection right now because Gary, Loud Balloon, Echo, Redeemer, Dennis, Sinone, Whiffy, and Haas, they've all selected the softs. Underdog and James B are on the mediums, and so is Flynn. So, bit of a mixed bag right now. So, our underdog... Oh, now Frizy's in the pits. Now, this is where it gets interesting, though. So, he's leading this race. He's got 9 laps on those medium compounded tire. They're not dead. They're not dead. I'll tell you that much. But they're not the tire to go with. Kieran, he's not here. And that basically just allows Gary, Underdog, La Balloon, Echo, Redeemer, all these guys to be on the back of Huis. There isn't enough time to be found on a straight speed track. Yes. But the cornering speed difference between fresh softs and worn hards, that's going to be detrimental for this Grand Prix. Gary is looking to be... Gary is just... He's... The win is basically on a silver platter. There's not enough corners is what I'm saying. Yeah, there may be only 11 corners, but if you get it right, you can find so much time in just 11 corners. I mean, it's not at all impossible. But this is basically Gary on a silver platter. Granted, well, he has to get ahead of Kieran. He will get ahead of Kieran because Kieran isn't here yet. And Huis is, well, he's right there. This is... all I'm going to say is that this is going to turn out to be a very interesting end to this Italian Grand Prix. As, well, the safety car isn't in now. It's going to be in next lap. So, when they come across the line, how many laps is that? That's 4 laps. Because they're going to end on lap 24. They're going to have 4 laps. I think it'll come down to setups. It can, but it's also going to be down to grip at the same time. Gary is going to have that grip off the start. We already know this. Underdog, it's going to take him some time, but he's going to have the grip near the end because those softs will deteriorate very quickly. We know this. Softs are going to die rather quickly. And while you can see a couple people are pitting, James B getting rid of that 5-second for him. Time penalties. That's another thing. Time penalties are really going to decide this order as well. Redeemer, Dennis, Whiffy, they all have a time penalty. The rest of them, well, Haas has a time penalty. Does Frizy have a time penalty? He does not. So those four drivers pretty much wish this didn't happen. Because this is pretty much screwed this. I said Loud is going to try and send it into turn 1 to get by Underdog. He very well can. Because if you have the grip, you can very well go for it. But the question is that how much of a risk do you want to take? This is something you gotta consider. This is like, what's damage on the top 4? I don't think the top 4 have any damage. Yeah, they don't have any damage, so all of them are fine. So this is just gonna be straight up down to grip and down to speed, but also down to the straight line speed. That's really all it's gonna be. This is gonna be a 4-lap shootout. It's gonna be a 4-lap shootout to the end. That's what we're gonna get. It's what we're here to see. Safety cars in this lap. Lewis. He's gonna be looking in those mirrors. He's gonna very well be looking in those mirrors. You can see on the back of that Williams. Obviously, you can see that Alfa Romeo behind him. They have some, I think, underbody rear wing. If they do, that's very unfortunate. As what? Kieran's. Why is Kieran ahead? Why is Kieran ahead? Well, this doesn't honestly affect much, to be honest. Kieran's AI is interestingly just gotten ahead of Lewis. I don't know what's going on there. Kieran gets a 5-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flag, so there it is. But Kieran's AI is gone, but that's not gonna matter. And well, there's already a bit of a gap between Gary and Underdog, and that's allowed Gary to now have a straight fight at Lewis. They're gonna easily get ahead of Gary. Race is now resumed, and LaBloom can very well look for the move around the outside. Can you think about it? Not quite, but Echo's got the move around the outside of Redeemer, and he has around the outside. Gary and Lewis, Gary and Lewis, have managed to get ahead of Kieran. So now, straight fight between the front two. Underdog is going to try and close in onto these guys as well. Love Balloon also going to try and close in as well. If you want to get these moves in now, you have to do it. You simply have to do it. That's exactly what Whiffy is trying to do on Flynn, and he has done it. Whiffy now up into 9th, Flynn down into 10th. You can see Gary closing in onto the back of Lewis. And Lewis, he does not have the grip quite to do it. Underdog is now managing ahead of Kieran, which is absolutely crucial. DRS is not going to be available until the last 2 laps of this Italian Grand Prix. And you can see how much of the grip difference that Gary has. He's basically able to slingshot it through Ascari. Dirty Air is affecting him a little bit, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Look how close he is onto the back of him at the moment, as LaBloon's now gotten ahead of Kieran. Now it's a straight fight between LaBloon and Underdog for 3rd place. And Gary's got him! Gary's got him! And Lewis is around! Lewis has gone completely around! Off of Parabolica! That's absolutely ruined his race! That is not what the Williams would have wanted. He's into the pits. I think he might retire. No, he isn't. He's not going to retire. But now, Gary is into the lead of the Italian Grand Prix, ahead of Underdog, ahead of LaBloon. There it is, who has retired now. But now, this is a straight-up battle. Gary is gone. Gary's absolutely gone. All he has to do is control it. And Underdog! Underdog has gone round! The championship rival to Gary has sent spinning around on the exit of De La Rosa chicane. He's in 12th now. And as it stands at the moment, there's even more contact. That's Flynn. That is Flynn, the Aston Martin of James B. and Sonone that's gone off as well. Chaos. Absolute chaos. What is going on? Oh, man. And there's still 2 laps to go. Oh, lordy. Dennis is now looking for the move. Dennis has gone for the move on Echo. And he has got the move. Dennis, out of absolutely nowhere, he is fighting for this podium spot on his debut race. On his debut race for Breakout Racing League. The Ferrari is looking in a podium place at the moment, but he does have a time penalty. He does have a time penalty. That's absolutely ruining it. Gary is gone. This is a straight up fight for 2nd place with 2 laps left to go, as Kieran has now been overtaken by Whiffy. Whiffy's now in the top 6. What is going to happen? DRS is now available. What is going to happen at the later stage of this Grand Prix? Loud Balloon's holding on to a podium spot. Dennis, well, I say would be holding on to a podium spot, but right now he does have a time penalty. So right now the podium can very well go to Echo. What's the time penalty situation? It's a 3-second. And DRS is available. The coach, don't tell me. The coach, do not tell me to calm down. Quiet. And, oh my gosh. I ain't got much of this. As Underdog is managing to get ahead of Kieran, so Underdog is now up into 8th. And now, last lap shenanigans. You'll love it. Last lap shenanigans as Gary is going to come around the final corner to start the final flying lap. And now, DRS trains to glory as Dennis is looking for a move on Loud Balloon. I don't think he has the straight line speed to do it. I think who has at the back end come out on him. Yes, he has. He did. I think he did. Did Kieran leave? Yes, he did leave. I'm not sure what happened. He hasn't joined back. Well, man. If I knew that was gonna be chaotic, I would have bet my money on it. Wow. Okay. It looks like everything's calmed down now. I think we're okay. Maybe. But now, we go over to the lead of this Italian Grand Prix. The championship leader who took the championship lead last week. He had it all to do. He said he was going to hold on to it. I'd say Kieran will be done. I don't think so. I don't think Kieran is going to give up like that. But Gary, he picked his moments. He picked the right moment. And now he just has a couple more corners to go as Echo's been overtaken by Redeemer. Redeemer is now up into fourth, but that's not going to matter because Redeemer does have a time penalty as well. All Echo has to do is hold on to that place at the moment. But Gary's going to come around the final corner. And well, oh! Has he gone round? Gary! Gary's gone round! He's lost it at a Parabolica! Loud Balloon on the final corner wins the Italian Grand Prix! What? What? How did this happen? One final corner was there for Gary and he's lost it! Loud Balloon has won the Italian Grand Prix in an absolute chaotic Italian Grand Prix. He takes the checkered flag. What? Echo's gonna come out to take second place. Dennis on his debut. He gets third for Ferrari. Redeemer in fourth ahead of underdog. Gary fell down to sixth after that. Whiffy 7th, Risey 8th, Haas 9th, Kieran rounding out the top 10. But, oh my, what? Wow. Driver of the day goes to Dennis. I don't deny that. Wow. I am just dumbfounded. What just happened? What just happened? Wow. Okay. The coach stopped. A chaotic Italian Grand Prix. Loud Balloon, though, finally gets that podium. He said he had the pace to do it. And, well, he's done it. There you go. An absolutely chaotic Italian Grand Prix. And it sees Loud Balloon take the top step at the final corner. Oh, my. Echo comes home to take second place. And Dennis will come in to take third. What a chaotic Italian Grand Prix. You gotta excuse me a moment for I have a lump in my throat, apparently. That's how I feel right now. There we go. Loud Balloon wins here in Monza in a chaotic Italian Grand Prix. Echo will come home to take second place. Dennis will come home to take third ahead of Redeemer. Loud Balloon rounds out the top 5 ahead of Gary, Whiffy, Frizy, Haas, and Kieran rounding out the top 10. Sanone, James B, unable to do anything. We lost Flynn, Huis. I missed the rest. Oh boy. Flynn, Huis, Quick Tongue, Chill, Lexter, Jug. Oh my gosh, my brain. Oh man. So I believe we're just waiting on third place to join us here in the booth. Oh, and second place as well, as I did invite him. Wow. You don't. Okay, he doesn't have an Xbox account, so I think we're just waiting on second place. Oh, I was about to type something wrong. Okay, Echo, where you at, bro? I don't blame you. Oh, there we go. Here we go. So we'll quickly get this. I'll quickly go over for Dennis. Obviously, Dennis, his debut race here in Tier 3, and well, he managed to grab a podium. It's like the Ferrari blessing. That's really all I can say from that. Obviously, a bit of chaos was involved, but nonetheless, he comes home to take P3. Congratulations to him. And well, we do have the top 2 drivers to join in for interviews and drivers. Be sure to include your audio, and we'll quickly get this underway. Second place, Echo. It was I don't know what to make of that race. I don't know what you can make of that race either. But second place. It was definitely looking like a podium in the later stages, but at the last corner, you just managed to take second place. But just tell us how that race went for you in such a chaotic Italian Grand Prix.
Honestly, yes, it was a very chaotic Italian Grand Prix. Balloon, I want to say this first. Congratulations. I was trying to stick behind you. I wanted you to pass Underdog so bad so I could be right there with you. But then he ended up spinning, so bad luck to him. But my race, after 2 weeks of just dumb bad luck, I finally was able to get my confidence back and get on this podium. I wanted it so bad. It felt good using a setup I can actually be in control of my car. So that it was just it just kept my head down and I actually got it in there. I feel sorry for my teammate because we could have had a double podium. It was right there. It was very much right there.
Yeah, it's just one less corner and he would have had it, but yeah. Unfortunately, that does come to racing, but nonetheless, though, it was definitely going to be a podium for you at the end of the day. And, well, you come home, you take second place. Next week, it is Circuit of the Americas, the United States Grand Prix. After the back of this podium, you said your confidence definitely growed after that. What do you think? What do you think, Dakota? Do you think that you can potentially do better next week, or what are your thoughts?
Wait, did you say Dakota?
Dakota. Yeah, Circuit of the Americas.
I mean, Circuit of the Americas is basically a hit or miss. So if you don't know the track well, you're honestly gonna have a hard time. So it's really a hit or miss track. Confidence is key here.
Yeah, it definitely is, and well, we'll just have to see come next week, because Coda can definitely throw in a surprise or two. We're gonna have to find out. Nonetheless, though, Echo, congratulations to you, your first podium of the season, in which, well, before you didn't have any points, but now you're gonna boost yourself straight up there. So, yeah, congratulations to you on that. And, well, we'll move over to
Thank you so much.
The winner of the Italian Grand Prix, and, well, yeah, quite a few people chatting in the Twitch chat, and I believe they were very excited, as you are, for you to come home around the final corner to take the checkered flag. A bit of luck may have been involved, but that doesn't matter. You won the Italian Grand Prix, your first race win, your first podium in Breakout Racing League. Loud Balloon, tell us how that race went for you.
I don't know, man. I'm just speechless. To be honest, I didn't even know I won the race until I actually finished the race. Until I looked at the leaderboard and then I realized, like, what happened to... Yeah, but, man, I'm just speechless. I don't know what to say. Yeah, I love my Vantage boys. Yeah, I don't know. At the start of the race, that McLaren, I thought I was done, but yeah, I just got lucky. I'm struggling to put my words together right now. Oh my goodness.
You and I both on that one. Even I'm speechless on what just happened. Those final 4 laps were something else, I'll tell you that much. Nonetheless, though, in terms of something else for you, it was in a good way, a good fashion, and you take the win here in Monza. Next week, Circuit of the Americas, your home Grand Prix, your team's home Grand Prix. How do you think you'll fare?
Coda is one of my weaker tracks. I don't think I'm gonna do too good there. So next week I'm gonna just try to aim for points. But yeah, I had a league race there last week. Actually, didn't do too well. I usually struggle throughout the third sector very much. So yeah, I just need to have that consistency and try to push for points.
Obviously, we'll never know what happens at Coda, because obviously, just what happened here in Monza. Anything can happen in Tier 3, and so often it does, and well, you just happen to win. But nonetheless, we'll have to see in just a week's time. Once again, congratulations to you, Labloon, on the win, and congratulations to Echo and to Dennis for their podiums, respectively. With that, that is going to wrap up Tier 3 for us tonight. A chaotic Italian Grand Prix, but one that will definitely be remembered by quite a few. I know that for sure. Tune in tomorrow, though, for Tier 1 and Tier 2 as they rip around the Temple of Speed, starting off with Tier 1 at 8 Eastern, and then 2 hours after Tier 2. You definitely do not want to miss those races. Then next week, the home Grand Prix for Breakout Racing League. That's right, Circuit of the Americas, the United States Grand Prix. Starting with Tier 3, of course, next week, after what was an absolutely incredible Italian Grand Prix. What's going to be thrown up there at Monza. But from me, that is going to be everything. Good day, good night. See you tomorrow for Tier 1 and 2. See you next week for Tier 3.